Welcome to Weld.com. I'd like to give a big shout out to all the supporters all over the world. Been getting a lot of messages, especially from Europe, and I really appreciate the support and feedback. So continue to hit that subscribe button and check us out, stay current with the content. A couple of weeks back we did an unboxing of a ESAB 285. And we did everything on the gas metal arc welding constant voltage side of it. And today I want to dive in and do some constant current shielded metal arc welding or stick welding. So we're going to run through some different rods and a couple of quick simple menus and some features and everything, and hopefully this will be educational. Later on I do think I want to get into some critical welds and do some arc control features and go through even more menus. So stay tuned. Let me grab my gear and we'll get to welding. Okay, I want to jump right in here and set this machine up. I just turned it on. Apparently it was set from where we had our last demonstration on the constant voltage or MIG side. So the first thing I need to do is go to the home menu and change my welding process to the stick welding mode. Says I need to check my polarity, so let's check polarity. I see something wrong here. I need a negative ground, positive electrode. I wonder who did that. Camera guy or man cub. Dang kids anyway. So now I have a negative ground or negative work lead, positive electrode. And the next thing I need to do is go ahead and clear that little rascal out. I'm in stick, but I need to go up here to parameters. I'm going to run a series of rods. I'm going to run 1/8 inch 60-10, 5/32 60-10, 1/8 inch out of mark 70-18, and I'm gonna grab a big boy over here. I'm gonna grab some 3/16 70-18. The default, let's see, if we go to 260 amps, I'm almost going to guess, I don't think I want to lay a bet down today, but I'm thinking that might be too high amperage for 3/16 70-18, depending on the type of weld. If we're just running beads, I'll probably turn it down on a flat plate. I'd probably run the majority of it, if not all of it, in a fillet weld situation on 3/8 or 1/2 inch or above plate. So I'm up here in parameters. I want to push that because first rods I want to run, I guess we'll go from small to large, so I'll run the 60-10, 60-11, and I could switch this by pushing that. There we go, 70-18 or all other electrodes. 60-13, 70-14, 70-24 would be in this category, but I want to run the 60-10, 60-11. If I switch this, I've selected the electrode. If I switch this over here, it says stick hot start. I'm going to leave it default at 25%. The other one is stick arc force, and I'm going to leave that set at 20%. I'm just going to leave default menus in here for now. And we'll come back and play with those, look at arc features and see what that does for control. Last thing I need to do, the machine protects itself. It's electrically cold. Need to turn that to on. I'm at 225 amps. I think that's a little crispy for an 1/8 inch 60-10. So I'm going to turn it down. And I'm going to run, I just want to kind of see what this is going to do at 85 amps. I'm going to just run a couple beads. I'm going to look at a couple of things. One of them being, I want to run the bead with a gentle rocking motion like I normally do on 60-10, but I'm going to do something here and pull the arc back a little bit. If I long arc this and I see that the machine stays with it and the arc stays going, then I know we have a good arc force and we're going to have a successful run. Let me get my hood on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to run a couple of electrodes. I'm going to do a normal bead across here, just a gentle stitch or stepping motion, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna hold a fairly close arc. I'm gonna run a partial rod or another rod, and I want to do something where I pull it back and long arc it just to see what the machine's gonna do. All right, here we go. This is 85 amps, which is really, I don't know, you might consider it medium range on this electrode. I'm actually digging into the plate a little bit at times, but I'm holding a short arc. Do a little stitch pause. Nothing special, just running the rod. Ran our first bead. I thought it ran pretty nice, pretty smooth. I didn't gouge, I could have. I kind of touched it in there a couple of times. Machine stayed with it. Normal 60-10 slag doesn't come off worth a poo. Clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to run another one right next to this in the toe of the weld. And this time I'm going to play around, and I am going to stick and gouge, and I'm also going to lift it up just to kind of see what the machine's going to do. I like doing that personally because I'm going to see if I was running on a piece of pipe or something, I was running a hot pass. I like to dig a little bit, and I like to long arc, bring that slag up and make the weld bead flatten out. It's just one of my personal things. So I'm going to run another partial rod here and stick, lift up, long arc, just to see what the machine's going to do. And here we go with rod number 2, and I'm going to do a little technique and work it a little bit more. So, good arc strike. Here I'm kind of stabbing that in there a little bit more. Wow. I got to rocking a little bit more, and I wasn't gouging up, but I was holding it in there pretty tight, and then I lifted it up. And you can kind of see it in the bead profile. Kind of need a wire brush on a grinder to really get this done quick. But this bead is quite a bit wider, so it flattened out, and that's kind of what I like doing on the hot passes and stuff, just to bring slag and make the bead lay flat. Quite a bit wider, and I noticed this thing has a long arc feature to it. We haven't even gone into the menus and changed arc force or hot start or anything. So, you know, again, one little hiccup, and I believe that was me just sticking it in there way too far. But I was able to kind of dig and rock this thing and then hold the long arc, which really flattened the bead out. So that's kind of what I was looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and run this bead out just to get a good straight line, and then I want to run 5/32, and I'll probably go 5/32, 60-10. I'm going to guess 140 amps, 140, 145, somewhere in that range. Let's try a little 532. I'm going to go 145 amps on this, and I'm going to make a series of just small circles. I'm not going to do any whipping around or anything as far as long arc, because I've already proven the machine will do that. So I'm just going to make small tight circles and see how we do. All right, here we go. If I can feel the rod gently dragging on the plate all the time. 145 amps, so really don't want to long arc this at all. I want to keep that width the same all the way down through there if I can. Next rod I want to run is 1/8 inch 70/18, so I need to go over to the machine and change up into menu and go to the all other electrodes. You know what, we should test sometime, just run it without going into that. I bet it'd run fine, but let's go over to the machine and we'll change up and go back to all other electrodes. 1/8 inch 70/18 3/8 plate, flat bead run. Let's go 125 on the amperage. What do you say? Okay, we're going to run a couple of Adamark 1/8 inch 70/18s. Probably run 2 of them just to test. One thing you may notice over here, I get down about 3/4 of the way. This may arc blow just a little bit, and I would need to move my ground back over here, but we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. I like to run 70/18s, very little motion, gently touching the plate all the time. I like that short arc, not cramming it in there, but just holding it, barely touching the plate. I feel like I get better control with bead profile. Changing my rod angle more straight up when I get down to the end of the plate here, purposely. I'm also filling my crater in. Wow, that went quick. I felt like that went really quick. I was impressed. Smooth. We didn't get a slag peel, but it's cracked. Oh, and that plate's hot too. I just figured that out. I need to go quench this plate. Bead profile is pretty consistent. Didn't need to beat the crap out of the slag to get it off of there. And I'd say we hit our amperage just right. I'm wanting to fill this crater up a little bit at the end. You'll notice I come out and just kind of push it back. Again, we're just testing the machine to see what the thing will run here as far as our stick electrode side or constant current side. So I want to run one more, but I want to get the heat out of this plate. I've run a series of beads on here, and so I want to take the heat out of this and run another rod at 125 amps. Be right back. Here goes bead number 2 with the 1/8 inch 70/18. Took a lot of the heat out of the plate. First thing I noticed, the bead shape is a little smaller and a little taller, which I expected to happen, but still got good arc strike. Rod's running smooth. Get a little slag peel on this one. That's always fun. So our second bead, I mean, I took some of the heat out of the plate, not all of it, but still, you know, immediate arc strike, everything settled down, ran smooth. We got slag peel off of this one here because of, more than likely because of the plate was cooled off a little bit and reacted better. Pretty much the same bead profile. It's slightly narrower, but again, it laid in there nicely. I'm pretty impressed so far because the machine is like immediate arc strike, settles down, runs smooth. These 7018 beads are running across here pretty quick actually. So next thing we want to go to is, let me see what we got here. We got some, what we got here? 3/16 7018 at a mark. I'm probably going to roll up about, I want to guess and say in the 220, 240 range on this particular rod for amperage. I may leave this slightly warm and just go 220 on the amperage, see what happens. Had an electrode that didn't want to play there for a second. Wasn't going to have any of that. Wow. I'm just letting the rod just barely touch the plate, and it's kind of running by itself. Don't arc flow, don't arc flow. Come on, knock that off. Woo. Come off of there. Nice, nice. Not sure why that electrode didn't start up all of a sudden, but like the others did, but kind of started and quit real quick. I don't know where that big old booger came from right there. Something flew in over the top of me and made a deposit or what? I got another one on the table and I didn't notice them popping out of there. I'm gonna buff this off, probably chip that off. I'm gonna run another rod. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned the, whatever that thing was on there, deposit. That was bugging me. Got another run of 3/16 7018. See if I can't get a little better stroke on this one here. Well, get you some. Check this out. I'm still not getting the slag peel, but guess what? All I got to do is just kind of rake it across the toe. That's 3/16 7018. It's running across there pretty quick, efficient, smooth. Had better strike on that one. So I'm gonna clean this up. We'll talk just a bit. We'll close this out. I'm picking numbers out of my head from personal experience, but if you get stumped, here's some valuable information. This is real cool. Go up here to the information, stick information, hit that one time, parameter guide, boom. All these electrodes, common electrodes are in here. You can go by electrode size. I'm going to scroll through, and the first thing I'm going to pick is the 1/8 inch that we ran. 1/8 inch 6010, we ran it. I said it was a little on the low end because I wanted to kind of look at an arc feature. The range is 65 to 130. Okay, 1/8 inch 7018 is 95 to 150, and we ran it at 125. We can scroll on through to 530. Oop, that went quick. We can go to 532, 6010. I believe we ran ours at 140, 90 to 175. And 3/16, 7018 is 200 to 260. I did a test run off camera at 260 with the 3/16 7018. I thought it was just getting a little too wild, so I toned it back. I did mention on camera, probably in a fillet weld situation on 1/2 inch or heavier plate, that 260 would probably be just fine. We ran ours at 220. This information is in here and it's extremely valuable. You have access to it. Just wanted to mention that. Okay, we've been running this ESAB 285 Rebel, and we ran it on the constant current shielded metal arc welding or stick welding side. Left everything in default as far as arc force and hot start and all that. Ran a series of rods, 1/8 inch 6010, 532 6010, 1/8 inch 7018, and 3/16 7018. I got to say, I'm impressed. I mean, this thing ran pretty smooth. Had one hiccup on running the start on the 3/16. It just kind of went out. I don't know what was going on with that electrode. Didn't happen again. Ran a couple of more tests on another plate. Never happened. So running pretty smooth, pretty efficient. Now I'm looking to go in later on and probably do some procedure welds where we do groove work, plate, pipe, root passes, uphill, downhill, horizontal, fill passes, hot passes. We're just going to change it up. I want to look into changing the arc force and the hot start. I want to go in and see what those actually respond to when we change up those values. Hope you found this entertaining. I sure did, and I learned a lot. I mean, this is one heck of a little machine. This thing gets after it. It's a real deal. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for watching Weld.com. Good day.